All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome. All right. Hope you all are doing well. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. Okay. All right, y'all. Welcome to Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, back to bring you news and commentary you can use. Okay. So I want to say hello to you all. Let me get my mic going here. All right. Let me let some people know that I'm on. Hey, y'all. Hey, who's here? Who's in the house today? All right, let me fluff out my fro, rocking the natural fro. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, I hope you all are doing well. Please let me know that you can hear me and see me. Okay, before I get to going, y'all know how I do. Let's just double check something. All right, look like everything is good. Okay. All right, I got my fan going. Y'all, it's super hot. Okay, do y'all know it's really hot outside? Let me let y'all know that I'm live. You know what? I think I'm gonna stream this also. Well, no, I can't do that because I'm using my tablet. I'm using my phone. I was gonna stream live to Instagram, but I'll do that a different day. Okay. But I'll do that a different day. Okay. All right, y'all. Welcome. I want to say welcome to the channel. Okay. All right, y'all. Cut my mic on. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, and I'm back to bring you more news and commentary you can use. Listen, y'all, I keep telling y'all every day, it seems like there's more and more news is coming out. Things are happening, things are happening that are in our control, things are happening that are out of our control, right? Um, the news that I share is not to scare you, is not to frighten you, but to, get you to say, hey, wait a minute, these things that are going on are not normal. um, what are some solutions? What's really going on? I want you to think. I want you to ask questions, and I want you to make a plan to protect and provide for your family in these very unusual times that we're living in. Right. I have a couple of stories that I want to bring to your attention, but before I do that, I want to say welcome to the channel. I want to thank you for your continued support. Please make sure that you check out the information in the description of this video. I have some links for you. For those of you all who may be in need of getting your emergency food supplies, survival needs, I do have a link there in the description, as well as my Instagram information if you would like to follow me on Instagram. The Instagram is at Andrea Speaks TV. And also, I had some of you have been asking about ways to support the channel. I also have that information in the description as well. Okay, a lot is happening, y'all. A lot is happening, so I'm going to go ahead and get into our first story. I know that some of you all will watch now, some of you all will watch the replay, and that's totally fine. So I want to talk about student loan forgiveness first. Okay, that's first on the agenda for today, right? Um, Student loan forgiveness. Okay, you all know here on the channel, those of you all who have been following me for a while now, even those of you all who are new to the channel, hold on, y'all, wait a second. Okay, even those of you all who are new to the channel, you know that I've been bringing you coverage about the student loan forgiveness. Okay, there was a pause on the loan forgiveness. There still is a pause, right? However, it has now been announced that that pause is going to be coming to an end. Okay, for real, allegedly this time, for real, it's supposed to be coming to an end. Our current administration sought to forgive up to, I believe, $20,000 of student loan forgiveness for eligible borrowers, I guess you could say. However, you all also know that in my coverage, I told you all that that plan was struck down by the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay. However, okay, the current administration is saying, okay, we won't give up now. They're still fighting. Okay, so I want to give you some student loan forgiveness updates. Okay, some student loan forgiveness updates. Maybe you should, for those of you all who have student loans or you know someone who has student loans, you may find this information to be helpful. Okay, President Joe Biden, and the Education Department, okay, are moving forward with a number of student loan forgiveness initiatives. Okay, again, y'all, they're saying, all right, we're not going to back down. Um, we're going to keep going. Okay, for whatever reason, they're pushing student loan forgiveness. What do you think is the real reason behind student loan forgiveness? Okay, you all let me know. Why are they trying to now? Um, for why are they seeking to do this? Okay, is it that now I ask this question? Is it that they're trying to gain and maintain the black vote or what young voters? What whoever you want to say, right? Specifically, I'm going to mention black voters. Is this one of their tactics to try to gain and keep the black vote? Okay, the reason why I say that is because statistics say, you can look this up, you can do your own research, the majority of borrowers who hold student loan debt are black people. Okay, so again, I'm asking the question. They keep pressing the issue of student loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness. Okay, however, haven't really heard too much more about any new recent developments when it comes to reparations. They want to push student loan forgiveness, but not reparations. But that's a whole nother topic. Y'all know I have talked about that before as well. Student loan forgiveness. Why do they keep pushing this issue? What's the real reason behind it? Now, I'm not here to say that I don't believe that. I could do a whole series just talking about student loan forgiveness and how it seemed like, or student loan, not student loan forgiveness, but I could do a whole series on student loans and how millions of Americans, how it has become a burden for millions, many people. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say millions, but for many people to carry, um, specifically large amounts of student debt over several years. Okay, but again, I'm asking the question: why do they keep pressing this particular issue? Okay, we know that next year in 2024 is an election year, and is this one of their ways to, like I said, keep and maintain the black vote? Okay, why do you say the black vote again, Andrea? Because like I said, statistics show that the majority of student loan borrowers, those who are in student loan debt, are black people. Okay, but President Joe Biden, according to my sources and the Education Department, are moving forward with a number of student loan forgiveness initiatives, y'all. Okay, meanwhile, millions of borrowers are bracing for student loan payments to resume. Okay, the student loan payment pause, according to my sources, has suspended most federal student loans and stopped all interest since March of 2020. Okay, so that was over 3 years ago, y'all. March 2020 was also the start of the shutdown, the forced shutdown, due to at the time what was the pandemic. Okay, after President Biden signed federal spending legislation earlier this summer, codifying the end of the moratorium, the article says, in order to avert a debt ceiling crisis, payments will be restarting, student loan payments, that is, and there will be no further extension of relief. Okay, the student loan pause officially ends at the end of August, which is next month. Make a note, y'all. When does the student loan pause end? The end of next month, right? with bills likely generated in September and payments first becoming due in October. Okay, I'm going to say that part again, y'all. Um, the student loan pause officially ends at the end of August, which is next month, with bills likely generated in September and payments first becoming due in October. Okay, however, the Biden administration, is also forging ahead with a number of student loan forgiveness initiatives designed to blunt the impact of student loan payments starting. Okay, listen to what they're working on, y'all. Last week, the Education Department took the first concrete steps to establish a new student loan forgiveness plan in the wake of the June Supreme Court ruling, as I shared with you all, that struck down Biden's first attempt to provide mass student debt relief. The administration will rely on a different legal authority, the article says, through the Higher Education Act to establish a new program. All right, listen to this, y'all. Here's a quote, excuse me, by someone from the Education Department who had this to say, and I quote, "Today, less than 3 weeks since President Biden announced actions to open a new path to provide debt relief to as many borrowers as possible, we are taking an important step forward to improve our regulations on the Secretary's authority under the Higher Education Act to compromise, waive, or release federal student loans." Okay. This person was also quoted as saying, "Our goal is to provide debt relief to borrowers, particularly those working and middle class borrowers who need it the most." Okay, now the article also continues by saying that the process for establishing a new loan forgiveness plan under the Higher Education Act, called negotiating rulemaking, will be longer and tedious, the article says. The department's first step was to hold a public hearing to establish a committee of stakeholders that will work together to develop the parameters of the new program. Um, this person also said, and I quote, "We will help as many borrowers as possible, and we will work as quickly as possible under the law." Okay. Now, in the meantime, while all that is going on, right? President Biden, the Biden administration, announced a 12-month on-ramp period. Okay, after student loan payments resume, during which borrowers will not be penalized for missing payments. While not expressly confirmed by officials, the article says the administration may be hoping to have the new loan forgiveness program in place by the time the on ramp period ends in 2024. Okay. Um, the Biden administration also moved forward this month in implementing a separate student loan forgiveness initiative through the IDR account adjustment, which I believe stands for income driven repayment. This program, the article says, will allow the Education Department to credit borrowers with time toward their 20 or 25-year income driven repayment loan forgiveness terms, pushing many past the threshold required to receive a discharge. Okay. This month, listen to this, y'all. This month, over 800,000 borrowers were notified by the department that they qualify for loan forgiveness. These borrowers should have their debts discharged before payments resume in October. Okay, more borrowers may qualify for student loan forgiveness under the initiative in subsequent months. Okay, you all let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, let me see. Give me just a minute, y'all. Let me check something. Give me just a minute here. Let's see. I may not be able to adjust it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, y'all. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right, let's see. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me just check something. Okay, also, the article also highlights that more borrowers were approved for student debt relief due to school misconduct. Okay, also this month, the administration announced that thousands of borrowers would be eligible for automatic student loan forgiveness due to school misconduct. Okay, The Education Department approved $130 million in student debt relief for thousands of Colorado borrowers, according to a statement issued by this department. Um, New student loan forgiveness regulations are now also in place. It says new rules governing a number of existing student loan forgiveness programs went into effect in July. In many cases, these new regulations will expand access and ease the application process for many borrowers seeking student debt relief. Okay. Also, new student loan repayment plans will be phased in. The Biden administration also announced that a new income driven repayment plan will be phased in over the next year with some benefits available as student loan repayments resume. Okay. So those are just some updates. I'm going to bring more updates to you as I receive them. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. Why is the current administration, I'm going to drink some water, y'all. Hold on. Why do you feel the current administration is pushing so hard towards student loan forgiveness? Okay. Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay. All right, y'all. Remember how I said there's all kinds of things that are popping up, new sicknesses, illnesses, diseases, things like that. Well, there's something else, y'all. Okay. There is something else that has come out. Okay. And I want to share this with you. Right. Just a moment. Let's see. All right, y'all. There is a meat allergy. Okay. A meat allergy caused by listen to this, y'all. Okay. This is a real story. A meat allergy caused by tick spit is getting more common. Okay, that's according to the CDC. The article says that more than 100,000 people in the US have become allergic to red meat since 2010 because of what the article says is a weird syndrome triggered by tick bites, according to a government report released on Thursday. Okay, but the health officials believe many more have the problem and don't know it. Now, think about that, y'all. Okay. A second report, the article says, estimated that as many as 450,000 Americans have developed the allergy. That would make it the 10th most common food allergy in the US, um, according to Dr. Scott Cummins, a University of North Carolina researcher who co authored both papers published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Okay. Health officials said they are not aware of any confirmed losses of life, but people with the allergy have described it as bewildering and terrifying. Hey, y'all, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Y'all, are you hearing what I'm saying? Okay. Tick-borne illness cause that's causing a meat allergy. Okay, is this making any sense to you all? Do you have a lot of questions about this? Something just about this just seems a little off, right? One patient said, and I quote, I never connected it with any food because it was hours after eating. Okay. The reaction called alpha gal syndrome. This is what they're calling it, y'all. Alpha, ALPHA hyphen gal, GAL syndrome occurs when an infected person eats beef, pork, or venison or other meat from mammals or ingest milk, gelatin, or other mammal products. Okay. The article is saying that it is not caused by a germ, but by a sugar, alpha gal, that is in meat from mammals and in tick spit. Are y'all hearing this? This is what they're saying, y'all. Okay. Now, according to the article, okay, it says when sugar enters the body through the skin, It triggers an immune response and can lead to a severe allergic reaction. Scientists had seen reactions in patients taking a cancer drug that was made in mouse cells containing the alpha gal sugar. But in 2011, researchers first reported that it could spread through tick bites too. I want y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all to do your research on that, but that's pretty much the story. Okay. Another story I want to talk about, and I'm not going to keep you all much longer. More and more Americans are working past the age of 75 due to the economy and falling short on their savings. Just to kind of give you some updates on that, the article that I'm referring to says people much older than the traditional retirement age of 65 are foregoing days on the golf course or volunteering at bake sales and instead staying in the office. Okay. The Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2021 published figures showing the number of people in the labor force who are 75 and older grew 53.7%, y'all, from 2010 to 2020, and it is projected to grow 96.5% between 2020 and 2030. Okay. A key reason behind the spike is that people are aging better than in the past. That's also what the article is saying. People are working longer because they're healthier longer. Okay, that's according to Geoffrey Sanzabacher, an associate professor of economics and research and a research fellow with the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. Okay, many seniors, the article also says, don't have the retirement savings they thought they'd have. That's especially the case, the article says, for those who didn't have coveted jobs with defined benefit pensions or 401k matching programs. Okay. The article also says that, in fact, only 35% of Americans between the ages of 55 and 64, which is to say, those nearing a traditional retirement age, have a pension or retirement savings held in a 401k or IRA, according to a report by the Joint Economic Committee in 2020. Okay. Now, also to add to that, you got to think about this, y'all. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share about this story. As the cost of pretty much everything in the economy is rising, right? You got to think people that are on a fixed income, their wages, okay, the money that they're earning, it may not be enough to keep up with inflation, right? So you got to think about it. These people are men, women. They're, they have a fixed income, but their expenses may have increased. For example, their power bill, the cost of food, groceries, other necessities, gas. Their expenses are increasing, but their income, it may not necessarily be increasing. So what the article, is saying, and what I have seen and heard, and this is where it also helps to be a part of community groups, right? Neighborhood groups, seeing what people are saying and things like that. People are choosing to work longer. Many of them feel like, they don't really have a choice. Again, inflation is far outpacing the increase in their wages, and many of them are on a fixed income. Okay, so if you have any elderly members of your family, check on them. Um, Neighbors, check on them. See if they need help. Um, Whether it's, you're going to the store, and I've even done this myself, going to the store, um, picking up an extra pack of this or pack of that, and giving it to them, because they are a group who, for many of them, not to say all, okay, but for many of them, they may have their own set of challenges. Okay, simply because they're at the age where, if they are retired, um, and depending on, their savings and their monthly income benefit that they draw, it may or may not be enough to meet um rising costs, whether it's renting an apartment, paying for wherever they live, or property taxes, things like that. All of those things would need to be considered, right? Okay, y'all. I have one more story. Actually, I have one more story, and then I got to get out of here. Let me see what I want to talk about next. Just a moment here. Let me see. All right, let me go back to it. I want to give you all an update on a topic that I covered a while ago. Let me see if I can find it. I had it pulled up earlier. All right, I want to talk about Norfolk Southern. They have said that the cost of the fiery Ohio derailment. Okay, hey everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Thank you for the thumbs up. That lets me know you can hear me and see me. Listen to this, y'all. Norfolk Southern says that the cost of the fiery Ohio derailment, okay, talking about what happened in East Palestine. You all remember when I was sharing that with you all? I brought you all coverage about that. They're now saying, right, that the cost of the fiery Ohio derailment doubles to $803 million as cleanup continues. Listen to this, y'all, okay? The costs associated with Norfolk Southern's fiery February derailment in Ohio have more than doubled to $803 million as the railroad works to clean up the mess and moves forward with all related lawsuits. Okay. Norfolk Southern recorded another $416 million charge related to the East Palestine derailment on Thursday as part of its second quarter earnings after previously announcing a $387 million charge earlier this year. Most of the costs are related to the cleanup of the hazardous chemicals, and I talked about that in my coverage. Most of the costs, it says, are related to the cleanup of the hazardous chemicals that were released, but $222 million is a combination of legal fees and the $63 million of assistance it has offered to the community. Okay. The derailment near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border prompted a national reckoning on railroad safety after thousands of people had to evacuate when officials decided to blow open several tank cars filled with vinyl chloride because they believed they might explode. Okay, the resulting fire sent a towering plume of black. I'm sorry, the resulting fire sent a towering plume of black smoke over the town 3 days after the derailment that spilled several other hazardous chemicals when the tank cars carrying them ruptured. Okay. The article also concludes by saying that the $803 million cost estimate doesn't include funds to compensate the East Palestine community for any long-term health effects. Okay. Um, it also says drop in home values or drinking water issues because those are still being negotiated. So the total will grow. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The $803 million cost estimate, y'all, doesn't include funds to compensate the East Palestine community for any long term health effects, drop in home values. Okay, think about it, y'all. Who, are there? Think about it just kind of in the short term. Do you think anyone is going to want to move to East Palestine, Ohio? I wouldn't think so. Do you think people would want to buy a home there? Or do you think people would have trouble? Do you think people would want to buy a home there? I don't think so because of all of this is going on. Okay. Um, and even for those who want to move out and don't want to live there anymore, how are they going to sell their homes? You also, have to think about, as the article mentions, drinking water issues, right? Even though they're being told that the water there is safe, I'm going to turn off this fan. I hope it hasn't been too loud. I have the fan going. Um, Even though they're being told that, at one point, I don't know about currently today, but at one point they were told that, oh yeah, it's safe to go back. The air is safe. They tested the air, the water, they found no concerns. I think you got to just use common sense, y'all. Um, quite naturally, these people are not going to feel safe drinking the water, growing their own food there. So, you know, and I would even say that the number is probably going to climb even higher when you take into account the many, many ways that these people have been affected. Okay. But the article says Norfolk Southern also expects to eventually recover some of those costs from its insurance and lawsuits against other companies involved in the derailment. Okay, so it sounds like they're going to maybe possibly go after some other people um, who they say may have had a role in this in the derailment. Okay, all right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope that I share some information with you that is helpful in some kind of way or makes you aware of what's going on. And again, I'm gonna say this, y'all. I was telling my husband earlier, I was out in the heat and I wasn't even working. I was just outside, and it seemed like I almost it just kind of felt a little bit dizzy. So I just kind of sat down for a while, got some water. But please, 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 okay, you don't have to be doing much at all in this heat to really feel it. I know my vehicle said that it was 95 degrees. That was about an hour and a half ago. And so what I'm telling you is please, please, please be careful. Okay. Don't let yourself get overheated. Drinking some water, keep some water on you. Okay. I have my container of water right there. Stay cool. Okay. For those of you all who like myself, who you have a home garden, don't get out there in that heat and overwork yourself. Okay. Um, yes, we're growing food for our survival, but in this particular heat, right, this unusual heat feels like heat like never before. I'm still asking questions, y'all. What's going on with the sun? Okay, I told you, please make sure you research solar radiation modification as well as solar geoengineering. Okay, something, this is not the same, it doesn't seem like the same sun. Now, you may say, what are you talking about, Andrea? Something, it seemed like it's different. Okay, what? I can't really prove it. You can go back and look at some of my videos where I talked about the White House plan to, or the study that they're doing to potentially block the sun. Something is not right, y'all. How is it that all these different parts, not just here in the United States, not just here in Georgia where I am, but all across the world, right? People are feeling extreme heat waves all at the same time. So much so that it's affecting plant life, animal life, even sea life. Okay. I haven't talked about this, but there are some reports that even with the water getting so hot in the oceans that it's damaging and killing off some of the coral reefs. Okay. I want you all to look that up and share with me what you learned. Okay. But what I'm saying is please, please, please um, make sure that you're staying cool. Okay. Um, in I know in my area, certain areas, different states, children are getting ready to go back to school. Make sure that you're sending what extra water to school. To make sure you talk to your child or children about how to stay cool and how to stay hydrated outside, right? If they have to go outside, especially if they're at the age elementary school where they still have recess. But I'm telling y'all, right here, I'm looking at the weather report on my phone. And in my area, it's saying here in Georgia, it's saying temperatures are going to climb into the mid 90s. Okay, I told you all my car it has a what thermostat, um, and it's telling me, it just told me today about an hour and a half ago that the temperature was 95 degrees. Okay, but I'm looking at the weather report, excuse me, for my area, temperatures climbing into the mid 90s each afternoon with low chances for rain. Listen, y'all, remember I was telling you all those times when after it would be a great rain, I would go outside and I would collect rainwater. That comes in handy at times like this. Let me just read the weather report from my area here in Georgia. It says the heat, sunshine, and calm winds will allow ozone levels to rise again. A code orange air quality alert will be in effect. I told you all about that before. It's saying air quality is forecast to be unhealthy for sensitive groups. So anyone, it says, the article says, with respiratory illnesses will want to limit strenuous activity in the heat of the afternoon. Okay. Code orange air quality index, again, unsafe for sensitive groups. Again, y'all, they're telling us that it's coming from this Canadian wildfire smoke. Um, I asked the question, is that really smoke? Now, you may have seen in some of my videos on the channel in my recent travels, I traveled to areas that were very much closer to Canada than I am. And yes, I continue to see a haze in the atmosphere. Even the sun looked different, like a bright orange. Just something looked very different about the sun. And even in certain places, it was like there was something in the air. It was like burning my nose. It didn't smell like, I don't know. It might have smelled like smoke, but I'm not really. It wasn't like a heavy smoke smell, but something was different. So much so that my sinuses started bothering me, my throat, and I just, as a matter of fact, my family, we just put on